When Kitchen Confidential came out, I think there was an assumption that I'd ripped the lid off the restaurant business and that chefs everywhere were going to be, or that at least some chefs would be angry with me. In fact, I think it was immediately apparent to anyone who'd even worked for 2 months at a summer job as a waitress at a restaurant, this was old news. They knew. Fact was, since Kitchen Confidential, it's been nothing but free food, free drinks, pats on the back, and camaraderie all over the world as far as chefs and people who actually work in restaurants go. Is this true that Grub Street referred to me as the elder statesman or an elder statesman of food? Boy, it's funny. For until like yesterday, I was, or a few years ago, I was still people like the bad boy chef. It had been a long time since I've been bad. I'm sure as hell not a boy, and it's been 10 years since I've been a working chef. So now, elder statesman of food. Well, elder, yeah. Statesman, I don't know whether I would ever use that in the same sentence as me. Food, yeah, I do like food. Everything they tell you about fatherhood, about being a parent, is of course true. All cliches are at some point true. But I will say that from the first quarter turn of my daughter's head out of the womb, any notion of ever being mentioned in the same sentence or paragraph as the word cool evaporated immediately. I mean, I felt a pressure to immediately, a ferocious urge, a need, immediately upon looking at my daughter's face, to go home, throw the leather jacket into the garbage, pull out the earring, thumb ring goes, and let's the word rock will never be associated with me again. I mean, let's to pretend otherwise would be ridiculous. Well, I'm a serious reader. I was a very fast and prolific reader from the time I was a little kid, and I like books. Perfect Happiness for me is a palm tree, some cold beers and a stack of to-be-read books. Obviously, Hunter Thompson was a big influence on me from the time I was 12 years old. William Burroughs, early influences. But I just finished Stendhal's Life of Henri Boulard, which was amazing. Central influences of my life. I mean, people I keep going back to, time, like every year. Graham Greene fits in with my romantic notions of travel and alienation, and Orwell, particularly his essays, Montaigne. George V. Higgins' Friends of Eddie Coyle is to me the perfect crime novel. Just a great primer on how to write natural dialogue, and so Nick Tosh's, who I think is a fearsome genius. William T. Volman, who makes me want to hide under my bed with shame at his fearlessness and his ambition and how much he can write. Nabokov, Lolita, I think, is the great American novel. Maybe right next to The Great Gatsby. Though I'm a huge fan of the Pat Hobby stories by Fitzgerald. Sure, a lot of people would be surprised to hear that I've actually written 3 crime novels, and next book after this one, I'm going to go back and do it again. They're intensely satisfying for me to write, in the sense that I enjoy reading crime novels very much. They're therapeutic in the sense that I talk about myself a lot. I mean, I read about me. I travel around talking about me on television. I do a lot of public speaking about me again. So it's nice to escape into an alternate universe, kind of, where fictional characters can solve complex problems with firearms, knives, and fists, which is something I'm sadly, really, I've been discouraged from doing in my own life. Number one most popular question asked of me everywhere is, what's the worst thing you ever ate, and did you ever get sick? Warthog rectum in Namibia, I wouldn't recommend it. It's just as bad as you think it probably is. But in fact, it is not the worst thing I ever ate. For sheer nastiness of flavor and toxic stank, the rotten shark of Iceland, its beloved national dish, would for its rhino stopping power alone. I mean, you could pretty much stop a charging rhino with the stench of this stuff. That would have to be the single worst mouthful of food I've ever had.